Bringing you the voice and vision of custom culture and lifestyle, as seen through the eyes of this South Texas duo. Welcome to the Custom Couple. Where are you at? Number this one right here?
Yeah.
Number this one.
Number.
How many fingers? One, asshole.
Check. Yeah.
Yeah, you good?
Yes.
Do I need this any closer? No.
No, so we gave you that one because it picks it up really good.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
whenever we give people
anything
this,
stupid I say, they'd be like, yeah, we got that.
You got that on fucking
well, no, because
camera.
we give people this one and they're like, yeah. And so when I was just like, I don't know how old, and it's like, keep it right here.
Yeah.
So we always give them that one.
Yeah, condenser mics are great for guests that don't normally go on to podcasts and hang out.
I love how Sam just politely told me we gave you the mic for stupid people. Like, it's okay, Lane. He's too dumb to notice what I said.
The better part about that is like the majority of our guests are on Zoom calls.
Right.
We don't get a whole lot of
Yeah,
guests.
so proving the point
In-house.
that I'm not that bright, I had
not.
to drive to Texas because that was easier than me figuring out Zoom.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, what's the last guest that we had in house?
Probably.
Todd?
Wait, like here? Here, like at
Yeah.
our house, Todd. It was just.
Todd?
Do you have another house?
At this house? What? Sam bought more houses, apparently.
Yeah, you just don't know about it yet.
I don't know.
It's a surprise.
You can always tell a person's character by how they know Tim Curry.
Absolutely.
Duh.
The guy's been in so many freaking movies and so many different types of characters. Like, I mean, it's just he's an amazing actor.
He's Dr. Thornton Poole. He was Dr. Poole was the bee's knees, man.
Oh, okay. Richard Dr. Pip.
So when we had Todd on the show, he cracked a beer, and like that's how we started our podcast.
Okay.
So tonight I'm cracking the Dr. Pepper because
Barbecue water.
barbecue water.
Nice.
That's what it is.
Ken, welcome to Texas.
Thank you, sir.
Now I can't really say that because you make a lot of trips to Texas.
I do. Yeah.
So, but thank you for making this crazy, wild, out of your way trip to San Antonio just to hang out with us and eat a burger.
It's a good burger, though. I mean, the company was questionable, but that burger was top notch.
I can't argue with you.
It went all downhill when he got a pink margarita.
That's right. I was set up by Sam.
Sam, yeah. Sam will set you up quick. Now, the drinks taste good, but yeah, you're not going to look masculine drinking them.
And I'm fighting an uphill battle on that anyway. So, I mean
Yeah, no, this is going to turn into a train wreck real fast. But thankfully, it's Thursday, so I can't get too fucked up. So we left it at what, 2 drinks tonight? We just stuck to that. So for those of y'all that have come to San Antonio and have hung out with us and shared some meals with us, we hung out with Ken today from Bad Idea Customs and took him out to our favorite burger joint, Chris Madrid's. One of these days they will sponsor the show.
dude, I hope so.
With all the people we bring there.
Yeah, free pink drinks for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. The day that Chris Madrid's sponsors the Custom Couple, yeah, we're gonna
Just
get
check
some
your
free
manhood at the door,
margaritas.
dude.
Yeah.
Buckle up, it's a bumpy ride.
Yeah, they get you fucked up anyway. Like, is it a sin to have your drink taste good?
No.
No, I don't think so. Somebody who's gonna write into the show, it'll probably be Matt,
Or Johnny.
Johnny. Yeah, one of them.
For the record, on round 2, I swapped to a brown drink. For the record.
That's not a racist thing in San Antonio. I promise y'all this. I promise y'all. What was it? It was a Bullet?
Yes.
Bullet? Yeah, I'm not familiar. Johnny probably is, though.
Probably.
Johnny likes his expensive liquors.
Well, Bullet's not expensive, but it's also not pink. So, desperate times, desperate measures, and all that.
Agreed.
Needed to butch it up a little bit.
Agreed. So
I had to butch this up before the bellhop asked me to dance.
So Ken takes this wild ass road trip from California into Vegas into last night you called me from El Paso or close to New Mexico area. Just so he can come to San Antonio and hang out with us. And then he's going to make a little bit of a road trip north and go hang out with Brian, our friend Brian, up in Dallas area.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hometown hot rodder.
Hometown hot rodder, shout out. So Ken, thank you for coming and doing
thanks for having me, man.
doing a show in person with us, because we don't get a lot of those. We do a lot of Zoom calls because of folks like you living in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, I do, yes.
So Ken actually decided to get out of Montana, come and hang out in Texas with us. So tell us a little bit about the 440 something cars that you've owned in your lifetime.
Current count is 441 cars that I've owned since I was 16. I'm 48 now, so I'm old, but
You're only 3 times as old as you started off at in your car career.
So there's that. Look at you
like, "Thanks."
pulling out math at 9 o'clock on a Thursday. Holy
You like
homework.
that?
Holy
2
homework,
drinks in
Batman.
and I can still do
I
math.
was like, what?
Wow.
That's a lifetime of playing darts.
That's
I'm
a
going to tell you right
lifetime
now.
of masturbation.
Yeah. That too.
Yeah, I've owned a bunch of cars. I got into them when I was in high school. Started building Datsun 510s in high school, and started getting into old stuff, and figured out that if I kept all the cars that I drove, that I could only own a few in my life. But if I just played with them until I got some enjoyment out of them and then let somebody else enjoy them, I could own all the cars in my life. So 441 cars later, I'm still playing with cars and selling them when I'm bored with them. I just sold my 63 Chevy, 4 days ago, and now I'm driving through Texas with an empty trailer and a glove box full of cash. So who knows what I'll find.
There you go. I mean, that you can't be mad at that. The 63, was it a Bel Air?
I called it the Impaired. It was
like that.
part Impala, part Bel Air. It was technically a 63 Bel Air, but it had the Impala deck lid and the Impala 6 tail lights. So everybody thought it was an Impala, but it was actually a Bel Air, so we just called it the Impaired.
To me, and I'm sure there's a lot of Impala people out there that would like hate me for saying this, but like to me, the only thing that makes it Impala is the 3, the 6 taillights in the back.
Yeah, and we will get, I'm sure, I mean, you could throw a rock and hit 16 people smarter than I am, so I'm sure somebody will correct me on this, but I believe the main differences obviously were the 6 taillights instead of 4, and over the rear window there's a slightly different body line on the Bel Air than the Impalas. But other than that, they're pretty much the same car. So
Yeah, and that's always been kind of like the staple with like all of the Impalas throughout the late 50s, early 60s, except for the 59 that just had the cat eye, right? Mm-hmm. But everything else Impala world all just had the triple tail light in the back. And ever since I was a kid, that was the only thing that I could ever like point out. Oh, there's an Impala because it has 3 taillights in the back.
yeah.
But I've had a bunch of Biscaynes because that's what I could afford.
Well, the only reason I ended up with this Bel Air was a kid that works for me. He bought it and was kind of tinkering with it, and he decided he wanted to get married and needed money for a ring, and so I bought the Bel Air from him just to give him money to buy his girlfriend a ring. So I threw it on bags and played with it for about 3 months, and then it went to somebody else.
But we keep hearing stories about Ken making other people get married.
Who else did I make get married?
You You bought the catering for your
Oh yeah. I am doing the catering for another wedding. Yeah, that's
Oh,
Yeah.
Ken is the master of love,
Bringing the marriages
right.
together.
bringing people together. The custom couple.
I'm because those who can't do teach, so I'm here to teach about love.
And those who can't teach create
Jim.
podcasts. Oh, that too.
Jim, exactly.
That too. They teach Jim. Jack Black taught me
That's
that.
right. That's right. School of Rock changed my life.
Yeah, these are facts. These are facts. Folks, I told you it was going to be a train wreck. But at least it's not Amtrak.
That's right.
Anyways, so Bad Idea Customs, sponsor of the Custom Couple. We definitely appreciate that. But as one of our sponsors, he's been he's the one that wants us to donate everything. So at some point we're gonna end up like donating all of our sponsorship money from him because he's tell us how Bad Idea Customs got its start with what it's doing.
Well, it doesn't do anything.
Exactly.
Hence why it's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea. Yes. Yeah. If anybody out there in podcast land is looking for a way to lose large sums of money in a really quick fashion, we can hook you up.
Absolutely.
No, Bad Idea Customs is not a business. It is totally fictitious. We have an Instagram. We have a website. We haven't done anything with it yet. We have T-shirts. What we don't have is any ambitions to work on anything. So it started. My background is I've built cars and stuff for 30 years. Used to own a small hot rod shop in Hawaii, and been in Montana for 18 plus years now. And according to my friends, a lot of the stuff that I build probably shouldn't be built. And the one that started this off was like 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. We were going to a vintage motocross weekend, and I had sold my BSA, and I didn't have a vintage motocross bike at the time. I'd been at an auction like 4 months prior and bought a Honda Goldwing for $300, which, if you don't know the Honda Goldwings, they're like the Cadillac on two wheels with the suitcases hanging off the side and the stereo built into them, and they're just a ridiculous stupidity thing of a motorcycle. Send your Goldwing Owners Club, send hate mail to Ken, care of Bad Idea Customs. So we were going to this vintage motocross weekend, and I didn't have a vintage dirt bike, but I had a Goldwing and a Sawzall, so I made a dirt bike out of a Goldwing.
Oh my god.
So I ended up putting together this 4-cylinder, 1,000cc, like 500-pound dirt bike that was just hideous, and had a blast doing it. Well, while I was building it, a friend of mine came in the shop, and he was just like shaking his head, like, "What are you doing? Like, this is such a bad idea. Like you're going to die. This is a bad idea." He just kept saying that, "This is a bad idea." and he, as he's saying this, he's looking around the shop at some other stupid stuff that we're building, and he's like, "It kind of dawns on me, your shop is just a factory of bad ideas." And so that weekend we went to the motocross race, and I took everybody's bikes in my trailer. And so I went to the graphic shop, the local graphic shop, and I had him make these stickers as a joke. That said Bad Idea Customs, and I put them on everybody's bikes. So when I showed up at the vintage motocross weekend, we roll out like we're like factory Bad Ideas team riders, right? We all have the matching stickers. None of us know what the heck the stickers mean because they're just something I had made for like $12 at the print shop, and it just kind of took off from there. And so Bad Idea Customs was born, and we started, just the group of guys that I run with, we started building goofy stuff like a Corvair ramp-side pickup that we turned into a full bar, and a Greenbrier Corvair van that we cut down and made into a 7-foot-long barbecue trailer that you tow behind the bar.
Oh my God.
So there's in the back of this Corvair pickup is the roof of the van on actuators that raise 36 inches up so the bartender can stand underneath of them. And there's 4 taps and a 6-bottle whiskey dispenser and a soda gun in the back of this Corvair pickup, and then a 7-foot-long matching barbecue. So just goofy stuff like that we just build more than anything as jokes. And that's just become Bad Idea Customs. And we ran into Bo Monster, who is an awesome scratch art guy, does lowbrow scratch art. And I was talking to him at, I think it was Santa Maria, like 2018, 2019. We were down there talking with him at the West Coast Custom Show. And he's like, man, you got to let me build you make you a shirt and make you a design. So he took pictures of my 26T Roadster and my 63 Mercury and one of my choppers. And my shop / house is in a 70-year-old grain elevator that's 92 feet tall. So he took all these pictures and made our logo with the grain elevator and my Mercury and everything. And it says, Bad Idea Customs, and at the bottom says safety third, because that's kind of our motto. So we are not a company. If you call me and say, what can you build me? Nothing. I don't build anything for anybody else. I build really stupid stuff for me and my friends. We play with it until we're bored or somebody gets hurt, and then we sell it and do it again.
or get rid of it before the lawsuits come.
Right,
Yeah.
No, they can't learn until they get hurt, and they're like, well, you knew it was a bad idea.
It's in the name, duh. Yeah.
It sounds like you bring the party with you everywhere with that rig set up that you got.
We used to, sold it.
Oh man,
It was a bad idea.
So, yeah, they could pinpoint where the whiskey was coming
Yeah,
from.
it's like, well, that's not covert at all. No, that truck is now catering golf tournaments, I believe, in Denver. So,
Ooh, fancy.
yeah,
Isn't-
fancy? Yes, Denver, so fancy. Denver's so bougie.
But isn't that the story with everything that goes cool and then it goes like hipster like immediately?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, money's money. It spins all different kinds of ways.
Yeah.
So, not mad at it.
So yeah, Bad Idea Customs just started as a joke at a dirt bike weekend, and now it's still a joke, and we still just have fun with it. And
What's the current bad idea going on in the shop?
so we are putting together this month a 63 Volkswagen Bug that I bought because a tree fell across the roof, and the guy was like, it's ruined. And again, I had a Sawzall, cut the roof off and drove it home.
The same Sawzall?
The same, yes, actually. Yes, there's a theme. Most of my bad ideas start with me cutting something up. No, I've had this 63 Bug for a while, and I literally bought it from a guy who a tree fell across it in his front yard, and so we Sawzalled the roof off of it, and it's just been hanging on my shop wall for the last several years. Well, we're putting mid-travel independent rear suspension and a mid-travel Volkswagen front beam on it, and we're hanging a turbocharged Ford 2.3 liter off the back of it. And our goal is a Baja Bug that does wheelies on the street. So that's what we're hoping for.
I think so many people are going to write into this episode. So many people. Brian, for one. Brian's a Volkswagen guy.
Oh, Brian was giving me hate that I was putting a turbocharged Ford motor in a Volkswagen until I said it'll do wheelies. And he was like, yeah, but that... Oh. Okay. All right. That's cool. So now I better make it do wheelies, otherwise Brian's gonna be all bent out of
Yeah,
shape.
he's going to be like, where's the wheelie?
You lied to me.
You lied. I don't know. I think you can achieve that goal very easily. And then, like I told you at dinner, the next step will be the Volkswagen bus.
Oh my god.
That's right.
Doing wheelies.
The biggest problem with that is, have you priced a Volkswagen bus lately?
Yeah, no.
Holy
it
buckets.
16 windows? Is that what they call them?
Oh, the 21 windows.
The 21
That was-
windows?
Yeah, that was
Yeah. Yeah, you can grab a hold of
just
one.
a plain old, like, not even the cool 67 and olders, just like the flat nose 68 to late 70s buses are just stupid money now. Mm-hmm. And
You know what? And Sam hates it like that. I get so like wound up about them. But my love is those fucking like the early '60s fucking Econolines.
Yeah, I have a 63.
Do you? Oh,
I have the Econoline pickup.
the murder vans, I call them. And then Dodge had their own version of it.
The Dodge was the A100.
Yeah, and that's the actual one.
I'm out. I'll see y'all later.
The Dodge is the one that was actually in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that's why I call them murder vans, because
Right.
that's what they were driving around in. But the original one in the original movie was a Dodge, and then they had an Econoline in one of the movies, and fuck, I love those vans.
PCI.
So I'll never own one. I know it won't
had,
happen.
I had a 63, and I think they called it, again, the internet will correct me, I believe they called them the handyman van. They were the barn doors in the back, but instead of the slider, they had a barn door on the passenger side, but they also had the same barn doors on the driver's side. So all three sides of the back of the van opened up.
Really?
And I had one of those that we put a 302 roller motor out of a Lincoln Mark 7, and we put it in that thing, and that was...
There's a few different versions of that van. So there's some that have windows all the way around, and then there's some that they're paneled all the way around.
Yeah, this was a panel, but it had the three sets of barn doors.
Yeah, that's wild. And then they had truck versions of them as well.
Yeah, and
right?
I still have one of those. I have a 63 Econoline pickup now, and they came in the 3-window or the 5-window. I have a 3-window now. I used to own a 5-window, but I still have the 3-window.
So fucking rad.
And that had a 302 in it out of a 72 Mustang. I stole the engine out of that and put it in my 26T. And now the plan for that is, again, just to make traditionalists cringe, we're going to put one of the 310 horsepower EcoBoost 4-cylinders in that van, just to piss people off.
Oh, I love it. Write in your hate mail to the custom couple.
Right.
It'll be wonderful. We'll read it on the air with our next live session.
So that truck, I believe they came with a 140 cubic inch inline 6-cylinder from the factory. So they were probably about 75, 80 horsepower. I just think a 310 horsepower. Are we keeping you up, Sam?
No. I'm just like, I'm trying not to cry right now.
I just think a 310 horsepower Econoline that gets 20 miles to the gallon would be a pretty cool shop truck. And I mean, if you're going to have a fictitious business, you got to have a really cool fictitious shop truck, right?
Yes.
To go buy your non-existent parts for your customers who aren't there. I mean, it all tracks.
No, you're absolutely right.
He has receipts. He has everything.
right.
We can write this off all as a business. At
Dear
this
Mr.
point.
IRS, I have receipts.
He says it's not a legit business, but you know, the receipts prove otherwise. I love this. So, folks, Sam and I went to New York. It sucked. Thank you.
Yes, please don't ask us about it.
Don't ask us about it. I know we talked about it for months because we didn't go to Roundup. We went to New York. Anyways, we come back from New York and Sam just needed to drive the Buick, so we got a nice cruise out today. And Ken spent 10, 12 hours on the road today and got out of his truck and stood right into the Buick.
In a hot ass car.
It's like, all right, you ready? Let's go.
Well, and Sam's like, do you want to take a normal car? Or I'm like, no, normal's never the answer. Like,
Yeah, so we were like, we haven't started the car in a week. We needed to start the car. So we took it up and go get gas, and of course we get stuck there for 20 minutes talking to somebody that just, you know.
I was pretty sure he was gonna just like grab me and throw me in his truck because he kept getting closer and closer, and I was like, get away.
Get away! And then I looked down, the keys are in the ignition, and I was like, well,
Oh no, I can't hear you anymore. I gotta go. Bye.
oh man, I better try to catch up.
Oh, it's so
But
bad.
she didn't get kidnapped. He did give us like 8 business cards because I think he forgot that he kept giving us business cards.
He's like, if I get your contact, I was like,
No,
giving
you
him
cannot.
your number.
I'm gonna get phone calls later from somebody. Remember me at the gas station?
yeah, my number is 1-800-Nunya dang business.
Yeah, no.
Area code, not gonna happen.
But happens constantly.
Oh, yeah.
So Montana, you take one of your cars to the gas station, you take it to the grocery store, you take it down the street whatsoever. Like, you get a crowd, don't you?
If it's a new car for me, because you got to remember, I live in a town of 1,000 people.
Oh, so they all know you.
Yeah, once I've had a car for like,
They're like, "Hey, that's
4 days,
Ken."
everybody knows that. Oh, that's just Ken. And if there's some old rusty heap going down the road that they don't recognize, they assume it's me.
That must be Ken's new car.
Yeah, the cops all know me. It's like, oh wow, that's 50 years old, has rust, no license plates, and I don't believe there's a windshield in it. Clearly, that's Ken. Like, they just know.
Hey, right here.
Let me run these plates. It's Ken.
Yeah.
There's no plate.
Let me run these plates. Oh, an 09 Toyota Camry with fins. That's impressive, Ken.
So you know that trick too.
It's like, yeah, but the stickers are still good.
That's all right. I hope Mike's not listening to this, but yeah, we've owned the Buick for fucking since November.
Yeah, I'm going up on a year.
Yeah, it's
Going strong. No plates.
no plates. They're not gonna get us this time.
That's right, sticking it to the man.
But I mean, to your point, the cops know you. The cops know that you're driving old shit, right? Well, here they don't know us, but they see old shit driving down the road, and it's like, I'm not gonna pull that over.
Yeah, it's cool with vintage cars. Unless you're being like a real first-class douchebag, cops don't want to mess with old cars because they're cool, and you can get away with just about anything unless you're really being an idiot.
And they know you can't stop that fast.
Yeah.
You're going to have to drive at least 2 miles so you can exit.
That's right. We've had our lights on for 3 miles, but he's got drum brakes, so it's cool. He'll stop eventually.
Yeah, we'll talk to him at the next one.
Yeah, he's not drunk. He's just swerving because his drum brakes aren't adjusted correctly, and he keeps ditch diving every time he gets on the pedal. He'll be fine.
Yeah, no, swerving means left and right. When you slam those brakes and you only go left, I mean, they're gonna realize that real quick.
Yeah.
Really quick. No, only 2 times ever, and I don't have 441 cars under my belt, but 30 cars. Only 2 times ever have I gotten pulled over, and both of those times were just so they could know what the car was. And I was like, did you have to throw the lights on and embarrass me? Like, you have to actually pull me over for this? Like,
so the closest I've ever come to getting pulled over in a vintage car, again, town of 1,000 people in rural western Montana, the closest I've ever come to getting pulled over in one of my vintage cars was I was driving through town. I got a text message from the state trooper that just said, "Dude, slow down."
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I don't
He
have
sends you
any.
a play-by-play of the video. He's like, no, I'm serious. Look.
And like the next week at the poker game, he's like, "Man, you can't be going through town that fast. My bad."
Oops.
Just go 1 block over.
Yeah.
1 block over. You're not going through town. You're
Hey,
going
dude.
around town.
Hey, dude, I'm parked over here. Can you not go in front of me?
You're making me look bad.
So the state trooper that's in charge of our area, he's a good friend of mine. He's part of my poker club that we hang out with and stuff. And I did one time drive by and I saw him sitting on the side of the highway. And I had just registered that particular car. I happened to know all the lights were legit. I had insurance on it. And I'm like, dude, this is amazing. So as I'm pulling past the state trooper, I just roll my window down and just flip him the bird as I drive by. And he calls me immediately. He calls me. He's like, "Dude, what are you doing?" I'm like, "You don't understand, man. For like possibly the first time ever, I'm driving a car that is 100% legal. I just had to flip off a cop, dude. This has never happened before."
Yeah, something is off about this.
I had to celebrate somehow.
Something is completely off. Now, I won't mention names or what car it was or any of that, but I also have had, friends that got pulled over by state troopers and don't have any kind of paperwork leading back to the car that they've got in front of in them. Can't run a VIN number and find out whose it is, or run a VIN number and find out it's not belonging to that person.
Right.
And still we're told, like, you need to get this home. Like, now. Like, go home. Do not drive this car until you get some kind of legit paperwork.
Do not pass and go home.
Yeah, I had a 26T pickup that I built, and I built the chassis just out of box tubing, and it was several different trucks that I'd thrown together, and I think I had a Chevy small block in it, and I drove it for 3 months with no plates because I couldn't put a plate on it because I didn't have a VIN for it yet. And and I can tell the story now because he's retired, but the then chief of police runs into me at the gas station. He's like, man, you got to put a plate on it. And I said, a plate? He's like, a plate. So
You're like sold.
2 days later, I run into him again, and I'm like, hey, did you see I put a plate on it? And it's like, they expire in like 3 months. You know? It's like, I don't want to run those numbers, do you? I'm like, no, you do not.
But
it
it's
is
a plate.
The Cadillac three rows over is missing its
Right.
license plates. What the fuck did
Funny, I
the
have a
plate go?
missing report about it's a plate.
That's the funniest looking Toyota pickup I have ever seen. It was a horrific accident.
What's funny, I had a Model A body sitting on a Nissan chassis,
Oh, the Model X.
and it was titled as a 1986 Nissan.
There you go. Yeah.
That's pretty nice. That's
Yeah.
pretty nice Nissan.
Yeah. Fucking, and I registered as an antique vehicle because you can do that here.
Yeah, it's an antique 86
Yeah.
Nissan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, be sure you don't drive your 86 Nissan in any, around anywhere unless you're going to a parade.
Yeah.
It's like, because that's all you can do with an antique plate around here is drive it on the weekends or go to parades in it. So,
Now, see, Montana has a really cool thing. If your vehicle is more than 10 years old, you can register it for life.
Oh.
And so, like, my 63 Mercury is a car I'll hopefully never get rid of. And I want to say it was like $120, and that car's registered for the rest of my life.
So you never, oh, that is fucking cool.
So, like, right now, my 63 Mercury, my 26T, and I think my Econoline are all registered for life. Everything else that I own is just the right offer away from being somebody else's problem. But those are the cars that I don't want to sell, and so Montana has a deal. Once it's more than 10 years old, it works out to about 2.5 times what the annual registration would be, and you can register it for life. And as long as you own that vehicle and you're still kicking, you never have to pay registration again.
That is awesome. Before we got onto this podcast, Ken said that I could put up my residence as at his house.
Right.
So on paper, I will be living at Ken's house and registering cars for life.
Yeah, just go ahead and register that 59 Buick to me. It'll be fine. You can trust me. We've known each other going on 3 hours now. I think you can trust me.
100%.
I mean, Lux likes you. He drove really good today.
He did. And that car drove amazing today. Of course, the weather was absolutely fucking beautiful
Yeah,
today.
it was in the 80s.
Of course, when this podcast comes out, it'll probably be hot as fuck in Texas. Like, the weather changes like stupid around here. That was the one good thing about New York, folks. The weather was absolutely decent while we were there.
It's never hot. It's great.
It was in
That's
the 50s.
good, because when it's really hot, the urine smell really comes out.
Oh, yeah. The two rats that Sam saw the whole time over there.
I was so mad because we were just walking down, and I was like, we're like little New Yorkers right now. We're walking down the street, but I haven't seen any rats. He's like, what about that one right there? And it was walking right next to me. I fucking jumped for my life. And
Did you
I was
have a
like,
chef's hat on?
Yes.
Like Ratatouille?
Right? Yeah,
I lost all street cred at that point. It was gone. I was like, oh my God. I was freaking out.
Yeah, no, we were totally New Yorkers at that point. Like, we were walking down the street, hanging out, having fun, and then we see this rat, and the rat looks up and says, I'm walking here. And it's like Sam was like, I'm not gonna scream. I'm not gonna fucking scream. I swear to God, I'm not gonna scream.
But
Fuck
I sure
that
did
rat.
cuss a lot about it.
Fuck that rat. They kept walking the
She
other
didn't
way.
scream. That was the most calm Tourette's fit you've ever seen in your life, but she
Exactly.
didn't scream.
And then walking up 7th, coming back from breakfast.
One
that
just
day,
committed
There was
suicide.
one that was just suicide right in the middle of the damn sidewalk, all 4 up in the air. Like, Those are the rats that we saw in New
It's
York.
like, you don't know the pressure I live, man.
Yeah.
Dude, and he was like in Hipsterville too. Like
Yeah, he's in
Wherever we
nice
were.
buildings.
wherever we were on 7th, it was just like all these vintage shops and everything in there was like $200 or more.
He saw those prices.
That's right. So he just went in for a flannel shirt and he was like, whoa, 180, what the? And just jumped in front of a cab right there.
Yeah, it was done for. What else do we see that was like New York? Like
Homeless people asleep.
Dead.
Dead.
She said he was asleep. People were walking over that motherfucker, like just
Well, no, he
stepping over.
killed himself over. He lost his rat that morning. That killed himself, and he was in the
So you
morning.
seen a rat?
He's cute. He's gray. He's really stiff. All 4 feet, point straight up. You can't miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was another thing that was kind of like.
That was my movie moment. I was like, I think he's asleep. He's like, no, I think he's dead. I'm like, oh shit.
I think you step over him and keep walking. Like that was that moment. Like
Yeah.
in front of Penn Station, we're like people were just like walking over this guy, and we're like, we gotta walk over there. Like we gotta go that way.
Is there any way I can go around that?
There was no way. It was either be out in the middle of the street with the cars that I wasn't comfortable with when I was in a car.
Right.
That goddamn people.
See, that's how you immediately lose your New York street cred. If you'd have stopped for a photo op with the dead homeless guy, like they'd be like, tourist, right there.
tourists.
Right there.
He ain't seen Bill before.
He'll be
Yeah.
fine. Just throw a little water on him. He'll wake up later.
Yeah, no, he's good. He knows what time the train runs. So, fuck. Yeah,
Oh,
there's
we're
some
going to
weird.
hell.
We kind of knew this. I mean, Sam laughs at people at the restaurant. So, we already knew we were going to hell.
I don't laugh that
Although-
hard.
Although, folks, Carmine's was best.
Yes, Carmine's was so fucking good.
So we'll give y'all that. Something we don't get to normally do, and I'm glad that we have one of our sponsors on the show with us today, because we don't get enough time to like promote all of our sponsors and do everything that we want to do for y'all. And I don't always stop podcasts in the middle of conversations to shout out to all of our sponsors. But folks, when we promote these shows, you see all of the people that we put out on these promotions on Instagram and on Facebook and everything, and we list the folks that are supporting what we're doing. Big time thank you to all of these people, because they are the reason we get to do what we're doing. So Ken, thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man.
All of our sponsors out there, thank you guys. Y'all make this, what we can, the best we can make out of it. Y'all are the reason that Jason gets paid.
Pretty
Basically.
much. Jason's
Shout
like,
out.
thank you.
If Jason even listens to these, right?
That's how we'll know. That's how we'll know.
So behind the scenes,
I saw how fat that cat was came through. Somebody getting paid in this house.
somebody's getting paid.
That
Oh, yeah,
cat's eating.
she's fat.
So that
There's
was
some
another
Friskies
reason.
up in this joint. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, there is.
That was another event from the weekend of Sam and I going to New York.
I
was
promise
her
you,
sister.
she was not that fat. My sister overfed her for an entire week. We came home and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "Is that Frank's?" And she's like, And I was like,
Why is your cat sporting a Jenny Craig sweater? What's up?
Yeah, no, we came in after being on an airplane all day for, whatever, coming home from New York. We come in the door, and of course, like, Frank's always meets us, like, in the living room. She's always like, "You've been gone for way too long." And we could just go to the dollar store and come back, and she's like, "You've been gone for way too long." But yeah, we came back from New York, and she looked like a fucking Disney character.
she ate the depression. I was like, oh my god. I was just like, I only gave her a cup. I was like,
While you were
How-
gone, she
how many
fought
times-
anorexia and she was victorious. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I was just, oh my god. I was like, you're supposed to give her half a cup. She's like, oh, I gave her a cup every day. And I'm like, no. That little
And our
fat.
cat suffers from the same thing that horses do. If you put food in front of it,
They're
it
gonna
just
eat
eats,
it all.
whether it's hungry or not.
I think I might be a horse.
Whiskey just disappears.
Oh my god.
Oh. Folks, it's not quite a train wreck.
I mean,
It's derailed.
It's derailed.
yeah, it's definitely
hasn't
not on the
fallen over
track.
It's still moving forward. Oh, I love it. I love it. I really do. So what's in the plans, man? You got to go to Viva.
Got to go to Viva. We were
Saw
supposed.
some amazing pictures from Viva.
Yeah, we had a great time there. Got to take my daughters and my wife. We all got to hang out there and got a bunch of cool pics there. We were supposed to be at Lone Star, but the job got in the way. Had to run and go make some money instead. So, would like to try to make it to West Coast to Santa Maria for West Coast Customs. I don't. Again, the job might kick our butt. Summers are pretty much a train wreck for me. That's when. So I make about 85% of my money in about 15 weeks in the middle of summer. So
Now, you explained that to us a couple times before, but what do? You go to the trade shows, was it for Ford?
Well, they're one of my clients. I own a marketing company that we do.
Okay.
We do trade shows and conferences and at all aspects. Some of our clients, we actually design and build their displays. Some of them we actually help them develop a marketing strategy for their company at trade shows. And then some of them we just do their logistics. We just ship their stuff around. Some of them we do all their setup and tear down, and it just depends on whatever the client needs, and we just kind of custom cater to whatever they need. And one of our clients is Montana Ford Dealers Association, and we're working a lot with them in the summer. But so yeah, I'll be for different clients. I'll be in Mobile, Alabama, and then New Orleans, and then back to Montana. And where were we last? Florida, Texas. We work a lot in Atlanta, Dallas. We'll be New Orleans in June, I think, and just run amok. There's no money in Montana. If you're considering moving to Montana, don't. There's no money there.
How's the real estate?
It has quadrupled, and it's really expensive. And again, there's no money there. And it snowed at our house last week, so there's that.
In April, folks. In April.
Yeah. So yeah, we run all over the country, moving booths around and setting up trade show displays and building them, fixing them, repairing them, shipping them, and it keeps me running. Like we were talking at dinner, I put about 80,000 miles a year on my pickup and running all over the country. And
then your last stop, you just sell the truck and go get another one.
I replace my truck every couple of years, yeah.
I would.
What I really burn through is enclosed trailers.
Really?
Yeah, you see all these trailers for sale on Facebook Marketplace and stuff, and these 20 foot, 24 foot, and 28 foot enclosed trailers. They're not built well. Most of those trailers are built for the guy who's going to take it to the racetrack 6 weekends a year type of a thing. Mm-hmm. And I put 70, 80,000 miles a year on them, loaded heavy, and so I wear out trailers like crazy. I replace at least one trailer every year. And so,
yeah.
And I will tell you this: don't ever buy a used trailer from me. If you ever see my name selling a used trailer, be assured that trailer has given all it's got to give. Like it's.
It's got that one poor wheel that's just really trying.
Yeah,
it's
like 3 mismatched tires and a shopping cart wheel, like that. Like, we had to get it home, man. What are you gonna do?
Oh man, what's your worst had to get it home story?
I was working in Southern California, and I had several crates inside. I was towing that was a 34-foot enclosed trailer.
Jeez.
And had it full of crates full of, most of that was actually electronics. flat screens and things like that. And it wouldn't fit in the hotel parking lot, and so I had it parked on the street. And somebody rear-ended my trailer doing about 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
Gentleman was drunk off his butt. And so I had the trailer loaded, weighed 12,000 pounds, and it was attached to an F-350 diesel dually crew cab that weighed another 7,500 pounds. And it was in park with the parking brakes set, and he moved my truck 8 feet. That's how hard he hit it.
Oh.
And it destroyed the trailer so bad it knocked the box portion of the enclosed trailer like off the frame. And when I called insurance and everything, they're like, well, we'll try to get somebody out there in the next 7 to 10 days to look at it. And it's like, I'm sitting in Southern California, I want to get home.
Yeah.
And so I just went to Home Depot and bought a cordless Sawzall, and I had to cut the inner fender wells out of the trailer because the fender wells were actually laid over on the tires.
Oh, God.
And got some pressure treated 4x4s and got a little creative, stacked some of the crates and braced them up with 4x4s and used the big 2-inch wide yellow ratchet straps for tying your cars down, and actually suspended the trailer box back up and hung it by ratchet straps and used the crates inside of it actually to hold, and went and bought some Harbor Freight disposable trailer lights and wired trailers, duct taped some trailer lights on the back of the thing, and I towed it 1,300 miles home from LA up to Montana.
Oh my God.
With ratchet straps and duct tape holding it together. And
was any of the electronics usable at that point?
yeah, they actually fared pretty well. The back 2 crates were pretty well. They were done, but
Smush.
they kind of just they were the crumple zone that saved the rest of it. But
Wow.
yeah, it shortened the trailer by 4 feet.
Wow.
And it was kind of funny because when the insurance adjuster called me, he said, we'll come, we'll try to find somebody down in LA to look at it. And I'm like, well, no, it's home. And he said, well, I guess I'm mistaken. The report that I had said that this incident happened in California. I said, yeah, it did. It happened in LA. He's like, but the trailer's in Montana? I said, yeah. He's like, how'd it get there? I'm like, this is where I live, dude. I had to get home. And he's like,
Come take a look.
he's like, okay, well, like somebody's getting their wires crossed because the notes that I have says the trailer is pretty much totaled. I'm like, oh, it's completely totaled. And he's like, well, then how'd you get home? I'm like, dude, this is not a conversation we're going to have on the phone. You need to come look at this trailer. And he just drove out to my shop, and he gets out of his truck, and he's looking at this trailer, and he just can't stop shaking his head. And he's like, you towed this home. I'm like, were you going to come get it?
I waited.
I'm like, I had all my work gear in that trailer. I wasn't going to just leave it in LA, for 7 to 10 days till you got there. So they have Home Depots everywhere. So we just, got a little creative and got it home.
Shout out to Home Depot.
We need a sponsorship.
In 2023, I might let you sponsor our podcast.
That's right. I can say
Maybe.
this, though. Your cordless Sawzalls and your yellow ratchet straps, they're legit. They will get you home in a pinch.
They will. They will get you home.
Yeah.
I like that.
That was probably the worst one. I had, again, in Southern California, I had somebody hit my dually that was parked outside my hotel, and they took the whole left side off my. This was in 2020, and it was a 2019 dually that I had just bought, and they took the whole left side off of it. Yeah, I had one of my dualies was stolen in Vegas. One of them was actually last month. Somebody tried to steal one in Vegas, busted my locks and busted my windows out, and took a hammer and screwdriver to my ignition switch. And
Oh my God. Thieves, they drive me nuts.
What about the guy that tried to break in your truck right in front of your house when your truck was unlocked?
Yeah. So I used to drive an S10 that the driver's side didn't close all the way, and it never locked. And me, I don't lock my shit. I just don't leave anything in it.
right.
So
It's like, dude, if with my stuff, if you are so hard up, you need to steal this truck, there are pizza coupons in the glove box. Help yourself. You clearly need them more than I do.
Yeah. So I come out, and I was going to school at the time, and that pissed me off even more. But I'm going to school at the time. I'm working part-time at a parts house, and I've got this S10 truck that I thought was the coolest thing ever, because it was a 2000 S10, but it was had all the ground effects and graphics and shit. That was the Dr. Pepper I just knocked off the table, folks.
Shout out to Gravity.
Gravity. Shout out. Yeah, I had all the ground effects and everything, so everybody thought it was like the coolest fucking thing, but it was still like a 4-cylinder fucking S10.
Yeah, 2.5 liters of Fury.
Yeah. Oh, goddamn. I could get the fuck off the line on that one. But I never locked the damn thing because the driver's side door didn't close all the way anyway. And I come out to my truck, and I'm getting ready to go to class, and my driver's side window is just smashed to shit. And the only thing holding it in is the little bit of fucking tint.
The tent? Yeah, that was me in Vegas last month. My window's hanging from the tent. That was awesome.
And there's glass all over my seat. They stole my boots. My steel-toe boots that I did leave in the truck, so my bad.
Which is an ironic theft when you think about it, for someone who will steal work boots.
Yes.
Clearly you don't like work, or you wouldn't be stealing.
Yeah, so I mean, I hope he got some use out of them.
He had an interview that day.
He had an interview that day.
That's right.
We'll think that. But the other fucking part to that was, I had one of those the top of the line stereo systems in it where you could take the face off.
Oh yes.
Well, I did do that. I did take the face off of it,
Stole
and
it.
they cracked my dashboard, pulling the radio out of the dashboard to steal the radio that didn't have a face on it, that they weren't going to be able to use, unless I guess they stole a face off of somebody else.
All we need is the radio part.
That's right.
I got this cool face, but my radio's stuck. Listening to a Britney Spears album.
Oh, hit me, baby, one more time.
Yeah. Fucking A. Fucking A.
Oh,
I think one of the coolest, had to get it home stories I ever had was we went and bought a rat rod little fucking. I mean, it wasn't a rat rod. It was ratty, but it wasn't like a rat rod. It was a little Ford chopped pickup truck. We bought it in Lubbock.
Is that the one that had the Confederate flag on it?
No, we painted the Confederate flag on it.
Oh, so you
That was all on me, buddy.
You chose to do it.
No, my buddy Joey did it. I wanted it, but my buddy Joey painted it. He did an amazing job with it too. It was great. I had it for a couple weeks after that, and then it sold. Anyways, got this little ratty pickup truck, a chopped truck, had a straight six Chevy engine in it, had a 38 Ford grill on it. It just looked fucking cool. Picked it up, I think it was in Lubbock, and driving home, it's like a Saturday evening, and we're coming up into like some small ass town. We're in the middle of nowhere, and I hear a hubcap fall off, and I'm like, fuck, are parts falling off my truck on the trailer? And the guy that's driving the truck, he's pulling a trailer for us, and he's a friend of ours that I just met like probably about a month before that, and he was like, yeah, I'll go with you. Helps me pick up this truck, right? We get into a town, and we're like pulling into like the outskirts of this town, and he looks in his rear view, and it's just smoke pouring out, and one of the hub bearings just went the fuck out on his trailer, right? So he's like, I just lost a bearing, so that's great. And I was like, all right, well, let's figure out what we can do. We pull into this little town. I don't even remember where we were at, and there's a mechanic shop. And we pull up to them, and we got the hot rod on the back, and they see who we are, and we're nobody. They
immediately recognize us as
closing
nobody.
this fucking door, right? They're like, nope, we're done. And we're like, we don't know what to do. We got a bearing that's burnt the fuck up. We got to get, several hundred miles home. And they tell us, you can get to O'Reilly's. They'll have everything you need to, fix that. all right, cool. So we get into the town, and we're in the middle of this town, right? He pops over a railroad track, and I look over, and one of the wheels of the trailer is rolling next to us. And sure enough, the bearing that went out, it just fried, and that wheel is sailing down the road. This guy speeds up
To catch it.
and whips his trailer over and catches his wheel in the fender, and is just guiding it with the fender as he's slowing down, so he doesn't have to go chase his wheel down the freaking road. And I was like, "You're a fucking pro, dude."
That's right.
It's not his
is a
first
pro
time.
move
Not the
right
first
there.
time it's
That
happened.
right there, Bad Ideas Team Rider. That dude's got the skills right there.
Dude, seriously, and then sure enough, we get the last hub that's on the shelf, and he gets it put on, greased it up, and fucking we're back on the road. We get about halfway home from there, and it just starts pouring down rain, and like he's just whipping this trailer, and fucking we're going through little small towns doing like 80, and lights are out. Like, remember that time that we drove home and it poured down rain when we went to go look at the Buick?
Oh, when we're going to Lubbock.
Yeah, that was Lubbock too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Lubbock.
Lubbock, thank you for the wonderful weather you've
Almost
given us.
fucking killed us, because I can't see at night, and I was like, oh, we're gonna, you don't like driving in the rain, we're gonna make it so hard for you that anytime your windshield goes, you're still not gonna be able to see.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh yeah. So I think that's probably the craziest had to get it home kind of story that I've ever had.
Probably my sketchiest was just this last December. I was in one of my older trucks. It's a 7.3 Power Stroke diesel, and Ford does this brilliant thing where the same pump that runs your power steering also runs your brakes. So if you lose a line anywhere in the system, you lose steering and brakes. And I have a 53-foot wedge 3-car hauler, and I had my 56 Nomad and a 33 Ford Vicky on the wedge, and we were coming up out of like the Redwoods area. I think the little town up there is called Leggett. It's basically like a bar and a grocery store and a post office.
It sounds like if you weren't born there, you don't live there.
Right, pretty much, yeah. If you can spell Leggett, you can't live here. Oh no, now all 7 people are going to be pissed.
You can write in your hate mail to the custom couple.
I'll have you know Leggett's where they invented the toothbrush. Anywhere else it'd be called a teeth brush. But right on top of the pass, I lost the line coming out of the pump up to the master cylinder, so I lost power steering and power brakes with 2 cars on the trailer at the top of the pass.
Oh, shit.
And it's like, I really doubt the cafe in Leggett has that line, So we ended up
2 weeks from everywhere.
That's right. Amazon Prime. No, I ended up, we clocked it. It was 86 miles that I ended up driving with 2 cars on the trailer and no brakes. But my wedge has hydraulic disc brakes on the trailer. So I just used my brake controller to run my trailer brakes. And I drove 86 miles with 2 cars on to get to an AutoZone somewhere up where like teeth existed, and I found the part I needed at an AutoZone. 80, like I think if I remember right, I think it was 84, 86 miles that we drove with no brakes on the truck and 2 cars on the trailer. That was just in December.
That is sketchy,
Or when
man.
your belt broke in the Model A,
Yeah.
and we stopped, and there's a bunch of lovely meth addicts and heroin addicts. I was like, get us the fuck home. I don't
They
care if you don't have a belt. Drive it. I'd rather explode.
They couldn't afford meth. They were smoking Clorox. But, yeah.
Meth was a life goal.
Yeah, we were hauling ass in the Model A. I mean, hauling ass, and she's asleep in a car that has no roof and fucking just loud as shit, just
I had
obnoxious.
good drinks.
Good drinks. Wonderful drinks that night. Hauling ass home. And, like, I look down, and I'm just, like, randomly, like, look at my gauges, keep moving up. I look down again, and I was like, oh, that one's pegged out.
260.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, I kind of like tapped her on the shoulder and yelled because that's the only way you could do anything in the Model A was yelling at each other. So yeah, I was like, I'm a little hot. I'm gonna pull over. Pull over in a gas station.
He's like, oh, the one that has the brightest lights. It's gonna be safe.
Bright lights, yeah. They attract zombies just the same.
Yeah.
I get out and then, is that a hot rod? And I was like, I'm getting back in. I'll see you later. My belt's just hanging over the engine. I was like, that's the problem right there.
We're gonna hope it gets us home.
But yeah, no, we've had some sketchy times.
But that's part of it. You know, if you want a boring commute, buy a Prius. You know.
Yeah.
Buy a Prius and sit around on the weekends and not exchange stories with your friends. That's what that's all about. But the car culture is about, like, dude, I can't believe we got away with that. That's half of what car culture is sharing stories and, you know, sitting around and telling lies about stuff you got away with, and, you know, that's part of the adventure.
Yeah, no, shit, you're dealing with as many cars as you have and as I've tried to have. You don't have to make up a whole lot of these stories.
Yeah, it kind of writes itself, really.
Like, folks, if you've just led a boring life and you just listen to podcasts all day, thank you for listening to ours.
Yeah, that's great.
But if you want to get some excitement in your life, just start buying old cars and then driving them without knowing anything about them.
Yeah, any story that starts with, this car is 70 years old and we're 900 miles from home, that's going to be a good story. At some point, there's going to be adventure in that story.
However far we were in the Thunderbird.
About a 200-mile drive.
Never heard this car run. Never knew anything about it. Didn't know shit about it. I was like, I want this car. We went, bought the car. And I was like, well, I don't know how we're going to get it home. I guess I'm going to drive it, but I don't know if it drives. So we're going to hope that the brakes work and the gas goes.
So in 2003, I was still living in Hawaii, and I found, somebody called me because they had found a car. It was a 64 Chevy Bel Air in Dover, Delaware. That was part of an estate sale, had like 32,000 original miles on it, but it had not been driven in 10 years. And they had put a battery in it and got it to where it would start, but that was all they could tell me was it starts. So I'm in Hawaii, the car's in Delaware, and this is 03. We didn't have FaceTime, and Skype wasn't a thing yet. So I just asked a whole bunch of questions. He sent me some digital photos, like on email, 2.1 megapixels of awesomeness. And I bought this car basically sight unseen. And I had it sold to a guy in Del Mar, California, just north of San Diego. And so my plan is to fly to Delaware and spend like 4 or 5 days, rebuild the carburetor, put a new fuel pump on it, put a new water pump on it, stuff, and then go on a 2,500 mile road trip in this car that hasn't ran in 10 years. Well, this is summer of 03, and if I remember right, we were supposed to get there like on Friday, and he called me Tuesday afternoon in Hawaii, and he's like, hey, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but you bought that car, like the money's gone, it's your car. And I'm like, uh-huh. He's like, Hurricane Isabel is supposed to hit tomorrow morning.
Oh, damn.
And I don't have anywhere to put that car. And I don't know if you remember Isabel, but it was a pretty big one.
Yeah.
And he's like, we live on the coast. Just throwing that out there. So I guess it wasn't that morning. It was within 24 hours it was supposed to hit. And so I went to the airport, caught a red eye to I don't remember how I got the red eye to LA and then Chicago and then Philadelphia, and the guy came and picked me up in Philly and drove me to the car, and it was like the storm was going to be there in like 3 or 4 hours.
Oh my God.
And so I just get this thing running on like 6 cylinders. God only knows the condition of the fuel pump, everything, and in pitch black dark, I just start heading west to to get out of Hurricane
Get into
Isabel.
the inland.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And as the sun is coming up, I'm like driving down, and this is, I didn't have GPS on my phone. I'm driving, I stopped at a truck stop and bought an FM transmitter radio and a Rand McNally Atlas, right? And I'm listening to the radio tell me what city the storm's hitting. And I'm looking on the Atlas going, okay, that's where the storm's at. I think this is where I'm at. I better go this way.
Wow.
And at one point, it was like, I'm listening to the radio, looking at the map, thinking, man, I'm like 20 miles from being clear of this thing, but it's getting really sketch, and people are pulling over under overpasses and hiding out, and so I'm just wooding it, like, let's just get there on 5.5 cylinders. And just hauling the mail, and I got around, and we went down back into down into South Carolina, and went basically the long way around the hurricane, and got down to South Carolina, and then spent 3 days fixing the car and everything, and then drove it to Del Mar and sold it. But
Oh my god.
yeah, that was a little dicey, outrunning a hurricane in a car that hadn't ran in 10 years.
That's wild.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Oh, that is wild. I'm not a fan of hurricanes.
I
They're
can't
not my
swim.
favorite.
I'm
Well, I
not.
don't think swimming would have helped, sweetie.
I don't think
I was in a car. I'm just saying swimming probably wasn't my go-to defense.
Michael Phelps is not.
I'd like to think maybe I had a chance.
I'd tell you right now, Michael Phelps does not want to swim in a hurricane.
Let alone
And he's
in
a great
in
swimmer.
a Chevy in a hurricane.
Yeah, no. When I was playing music for a bunch of years, one of the festivals that we played was in Pensacola, Florida. And we left San Antonio in the middle of the night. I don't know why. Maybe because that's when we were up. Not saying anything. Yeah. But the year before that was Hurricane Katrina. And we're heading on I-10 through Louisiana. And they said, nope, you're not.
That was Rita coming in then, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like, you're going to go north, find I-20, and then take that into, whatever you southern states call yourselves. And then you can come down into Florida, but you're not taking I-10. They closed us off from that. And the trip home was even worse. So we get to Louisiana, and we're on I-20, and again, same era with no GPS, no cell phones, and all those things. I had a cell phone. I didn't even use text messaging on it at that time, but definitely no GPS. And following everything on a map, we're in Louisiana, and then we see a sign that says "Welcome to Texas," and we're like, we're fucking home, About 2 hours later, on some back ass roads, I don't know where.
Welcome to Louisiana.
Exactly. We see a sign that welcomed back into Louisiana, and all four of the guys in my band at the same time in unison probably sang the best tune you ever heard
Best
of.
harmony they'd ever had.
Fuck. With, of course, our aggressive-ass drummer at the time, and he yelled fuck. But the rest of us were completely in harmony with each other.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, hurricanes are not my favorite.
No.
Tornadoes, fuck no. I think I drove through a tornado at one time. It was very terrible. Middle of, East Texas where it's flat. So, no. Wind going in a circle, not my favorite. Add water, fuck no.
Add trailer park.
Right?
Add cows.
It's the same cow.
There's 5 cows. Oh no, it's just one cow. He's just really dizzy.
He's going fast.
The winds are changing. Yeah, no. No, thank you. Another reason why I don't hang out in Oklahoma, other than it sucks.
Jesus.
What? What? They sell cars out from under you. What do you?
I mean, yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
I have some really good friends that live in Oklahoma, and I was driving past a construction site, and there was a gravel pile that was about 9 feet tall. And I snapped a picture and sent him and said, "Look, an Oklahoma mountain range."
No, we have wonderful friends in Oklahoma. The Okie Sleds are definitely a good group of guys that we like to hang out with. We're going to see them in June. I'm very much looking forward to that. We finally get to go to one of their barbecues.
Great with me.
The Greet with Meat. But yeah, no, in all of them we're like 100%. Like we'll go find you a car and buy it for you, and you can have it, and we'll do that for you. But no,
Yeah, everybody I know
somebody-
from Oklahoma are awesome dudes.
Yeah,
But I'm glad they live there, because then I don't have to.
Somebody's gotta live there. It ain't gonna be me.
my dad's family lives in Oklahoma. Not my family, but my dad's family.
There's a reason why they're your dad's family.
His family lives there.
Those people live there.
Those people.
Oh, now we're getting into expensive therapy.
Right? It's all so.
I feel like I need a German accent to continue this conversation. And tell me how this makes you feel.
Doctor, why do you think that everything is phallic? Yeah. Everything stems back to, boys grow up loving their moms and girls grow up loving their dads. That's what therapy always told me.
I was like, what the hell are you saying?
I think you were at the wrong door. That door didn't say therapist, it said the rapist. Like, check the comma, bro.
No, the first 3 years of college, they were all the same year, but it took me 3 times to get through it.
Yeah, I went to
thought it
college
was-
for one term. Bushes.
Bushes. Yeah, no, that's all I got out of my psychology classes was
The rapist is what you
rapist.
got out of that?
all I got out of psychology class. Sociology. Everybody's got an Oedipus complex. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, where are you right now?
Where are you?
I believe
asked
we've
Sam
arrived
that
at the
one time.
aforementioned train wreck.
I asked Sam that one time in New York, and it was the best moment I ever had.
Because we
She
were at the
was stoned
stupid.
as fuck.
Yeah, because we were waiting for John Waters, and he was saying something, and I was like, "Yeah, the giraffe," and he's like, "What?" I was like, "Wait, what did you say?" And he's like, "Where are you right now?" And I was like,
Where are you?
"I'm here." Oh, that was bad. That was a bad one.
Yeah.
Giraffes. Okay.
So, folks, thank you for riding this wonderful train. We will let you off at some moment when it slows down. And
And I'm sorry, this wasn't any better.
no, it was wonderful. At least I mean,
For 80% of that, we talked about nothing but nonsense, and the 20% was cars.
and it was still more information than the 2 episodes we put out with Hometown Hot Rodder.
Oh,
Shots fired.
God, we did 2 hours of just nothing but train wreck with him. And then Chuck's it was a salvageable train wreck at least.
I mean, it was a nice dumpster fire.
Yeah.
It was good. It's good.
Southside of San
That's one of my
Antonio.
favorite shirts that has a picture of a dumpster on fire. It says,
Yeah.
says, I'm fine, we're fine, everything's fine.
Yeah. Reminds me of that little dog when everything's on fire, and he's like, "This is fine."
This is fine. Anyways,
Just
folks,
because we didn't talk about everything now we have an excuse to go to Montana and
Heck
do another
yeah.
episode.
That's right.
yeah, so Ken's
I'll make you feel right at home. I'll
full
put the
of
rapist
stories.
on the door. And
I will come in and go to bed.
He's like, this feels
Home.
right.
it's like home.
This feels
Just
right.
like just pull up a pillow.
Yeah, you guys need to come up, hang out with us.
Oh yes.
We can do that because I definitely want to see the 90-foot grain elevator that you have as a shop.
Shop and house are both in there. Yeah.
I like this. I'm gonna go get in trouble in maybe at that point there'll be a Volkswagen that does wheelies.
There's a good chance, yeah.
So
There will either be a Volkswagen that does wheelies or a stunning tale of failure. It'll be awesome. One way or another.
probably in the snow
Yeah.
because apparently it snows year round in Montana.
Just about, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. No,
What's your favorite? You love cold.
Oh, I fucking hate the cold.
You and me both, dude.
Oh man, I'm happiness and cold. I made him when it snowed here. I was like, hey, guess what? Put on anything that you have warm, and then we walked like 4 blocks.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, because San Antonio never saw snow before, so it was cool for about 20 minutes, and then
And then
we
your
took our
clothes got
pictures.
wet.
Yeah, we took our pictures in the snow and did all of that fun shit. The next day, when it was just wet and dirt and gross, and people were sliding off the highway into each other, we were trying to get groceries. Fuck that.
Yeah, the best, my favorite time of year to have tourists come to Montana is what we call dog poo season, which is in the winter when everything's covered in snow, the dog just goes out and drops steamers wherever, willy-nilly, and they sink into the snow. Well, in the spring when all the snow melts, all that wonderful aroma that's been flash frozen for its freshness, it all comes out all at once, and like in the 3 days it takes for your driveway to melt, all of a sudden your entire driveway is covered in dog crap because you've got 5 months of dog crap that has now come to the surface all at once. Yeah, it's, dog poo season in Montana is wonderful.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. It sounds like you should do it in a Roadster T pickup. just, yeah, no.
Yeah.
We could definitely do that. Folks, if you're listening to this on Apple, please go on there and rate and review us. If you're listening on Spotify, you can also leave a rating. If you haven't already checked out what we're doing with Rod and Style Radio, go to that podcast. We also host that one. New episodes of it drop every Wednesday. And if you go find us on Instagram, you can find a list of all of our sponsors, including Ken here from Bad Idea Customs. And 9 more, because that's what we capped it at this year, was 10 sponsors.
Yes.
So, folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And thank you for listening to the podcast, and all of y'all that decide that you need to write in and leave reviews to us. Please do that and screenshot it, send it to me, because I post that to all of our social media. We love the support y'all are giving us.
Unless they're bad reviews, then we post them to Hometown Hot Rodders. So
yeah, we absolutely send all of our bad reviews over to several other podcasts that we've been involved with. But yeah. Folks, if you'd like a trivia question, write in and I will send you something. I will do this. I will send you something from the Custom Couple. If you can send me a message or send the Custom Couple's Instagram a message of one of the other podcasts that we have done some swapcasts with. So if you're listening to like other cool shit that we've sent you to, thank you, because those folks enjoy it as well. Folks, thank you for listening in, and as always, in all things custom, keep it cool.
Bing, bang, boom. See you next Tuesday.
Don't say see you next Tuesday.
I can poop anywhere.
We know.